This story happens a long time ago. There were only two human beings on earth, Adam and Eve. They had recently been kicked out of paradise for a story of apple you have probably heard of. They had settled near a forest. Adam built a little hut. Eve was watching Adam build the little hut. They had already defined the gender roles according to what God had said, and you don't have to believe it, it's only a story, isn't it? And one afternoon, as Adam was away hunting and plowing or doing all kinds of things to try to get food back to the hut, Satan came to see Eve and asked her if she could keep his child, Satan's child, called Hannah, 10 years old with a sulky face, a little bit plump. And Eve, looking at the child, felt a motherly instinct and she said yes. And she kept Hannah all the afternoon with her. But when Adam came back, he saw and he knew it was Hannah's, Satan's child, and he burst into a temper. What? He said, Satan is our enemy. What are you doing, helping Satan as if we were not in trouble enough with God? No, I don't want to see him. And he took a machete and chopped off the poor kid into pieces, the hands, the limbs, everywhere. Then he put all the bloody parts of Hannah into a basket, went to the desert and scattered them in all directions. And he came back, said, no more business with Satan. But Satan knew. Satan went directly to the desert. He used his powerful magic, brought all the pieces of his child together, brought him back to life, and here he was, a little bit sulky, saying nothing, used to be ill-treated anyway. And that was it. But a few days later, Satan came a second time to ask Eve if she could keep the child. Satan had so much business, all these demons to lead, and with the child it's so difficult. And Hannah was looking at Eve with these big eyes, you know, that you can't say no to. And Eve said, please come back early before Adam comes back, as Satan promised. Eve spent the afternoon with the child, and Satan wasn't true to his word. Adam came back first. He saw Hannah. He was so angry. He built a pyre, set the wood on fire, and took the child, the screaming child, he threw into the fire. And he burnt, and then there were only ashes left, and Adam put the ashes in a basket, went into the desert, scattered the ashes to the wind. But Satan knew. Satan went directly to the desert. He used his powerful magic and brought all the ashes together, and here was his child again. Alive. Not very happy, but alive. And a third time, Satan came to ask Eve to help him to keep his child for the afternoon. And Eve said no, but Satan insisted, and Hannah was a little bit crying and looking at Eve with so much hope that Eve couldn't say no, and she accepted. And when Adam came back at the end of the afternoon and saw the child for a third time, he said, this time he didn't burst out in anger. This time his anger was cold. He said nothing. Coldly he built another pyre that set the wood on fire. Then he took his machete and and cut the child into pieces again. And then he put the pieces of the child to roast on the fire, and then he started to eat them, and he gave bits and pieces of Hannah to eat to Eve, and Eve couldn't say no after the story of the apple, you understand? And a little bit later, Satan came and asked, where is my child? And from inside the bodies of Adam and Eve, the voice of Hannah answered, I'm here, they ate me. Said Satan, that's exactly what I wanted. My goal is achieved. You won't see me again, at least for a while. And Satan went, and the devil is still there, within us, living our lives with us, and inspiring us evil deeds that we perform with delight, waiting to be redeemed by the grace of God, but that's another story.